story of a lovely lady who was bringing up three very lovely girls. All of them had hair of gold, like their mother, the youngest one in curls.
It's the story of a man named Brady who was busy with three boys of his own. They were four men living all together, yet they were all alone. Till the one day when the lady met this fellow, and they knew that it was much more than a hunch, that this group must somehow form a family. That's the way we all became the Brady Bunch. The Brady Bunch, the Brady Bunch. That's the way we became the Brady Bunch.
Hi there, I'm Randall Thropp from the Paramount Pictures Archives. And once again, I'm here at the Decorative Arts Center of Ohio. And this time for Christmas, we have a Very Brady Holiday. And it's piggybacked with another exhibit called A Storybook Christmas. But I'm going to be talking about a Very Brady Holiday. Now, just a brief history of the Brady Bunch. The Brady Bunch it premiered in September of 1969, and it ran through 1974. There were only 5 seasons. Sadly, the Brady Bunch was not a hit with the critics, or frankly, people. It was not a watch television show like some of the others. In the 3rd season, it was up against Sanford and Son, which was an enormous hit, and also the Sonny and Cher show. And frankly, the Partridge Family became more popular. So the show was canceled in 1974, and it was syndicated in 1975, and it went to local markets. That's when the Brady Bunch became a major hit. I believe in Ohio, it was on at 4 o'clock or 4:30 in the afternoon. And so you had this captive audience of kids coming home from school watching the Brady Bunch, which was also about kids. So that's a brief history of the Brady Bunch. But after the syndication and after the popularity, of course, there were many incarnations of the Brady Bunch, including the Brady Bunch Variety Hour. There was the Brady Girls Get Married, the Brady Brides. There was a cartoon of the Brady Bunch. There also was a Very Brady Christmas, which was the highest rated TV special for that season, which is great. Then it finished up with some of the original cast in a show called The Bradys, which wasn't nearly the big success that they had thought it was going to be. And then, of course, there was Growing Up Brady, Unauthorized Brady Bunch. But what we have here in the exhibit are costumes and some pieces from the 2 films, the Brady Bunch movie and a Very Brady sequel. What better way to enter the exhibit than to be greeted by Alice, the faithful housekeeper for the Brady Bunch? Now, this costume was worn by Henriette Mantel in both the Brady Bunch movie and a Very Brady sequel. It's an exact copy of what was worn by Ann B. Davis, who was the original Alice for the television series. And it is a faithful reproduction. And actually, Henriette did a fantastic job as Alice in both of the films. You might recognize this horse. This is the original horse from the Brady Bunch television series, but it was also used in both of the films, Brady Bunch movie and a Very Brady sequel. Now, this horse has quite a history. Originally, this horse was owned by Columbia Pictures and was used in the film Bell, Book, and Candle, starring James Stewart. This was actually in his office, and you see it pretty distinctly. It was also used in an episode of Bewitched, both of which were Columbia productions. Now, somehow, this fell into Paramount's hands, and it may have been after 1968 when their Columbia Pictures went through some big transitions. But this is featured in many of the episodes of The Brady Bunch. Now, it was also featured on the television show A Very Brady Renovation for HGTV, which I helped on that show. But the sad thing is, the horse's legs were broken. Somebody had dropped this years ago. There's rebar. This thing is very heavy, by the way. There was rebar inside of here, and the entire horse was bent over. It couldn't support itself. But the HGTV people, who were fantastic, brought in a scan truck with 3D cameras that completely recreated what the horse's legs should look like and then were 3D printed. So these are new legs on our horse. We're very happy to have it. This pantsuit, worn by Florence Henderson, is from the original TV series. It was worn in the episode where they go to the Grand Canyon. I also have a gold velour pantsuit that she also wore in that episode. But this is an original Florence Henderson piece from the show. Now, this costume was also worn by an actress named Rebecca Bush for Growing Up Brady. And she wore it on an appearance to the Today Show. Now, what you can't see here is clearly Rebecca Bush was a little bit larger than Florence Henderson. So there are gussets on either side of the waistband on this. So it was meant to go on a slightly larger person because Florence was very small indeed. So this is, again, one of our pieces from the original TV series. Now, a little known fact, Florence Henderson was not the first choice to play Carol Brady. Can you believe this? It was an actress named Joyce Bulifant. Joyce Bulifant was originally lined up to play Carol Brady. The character of Alice was not originally supposed to be Ann B. Davis. It was supposed to be another character actress named Kathleen Freeman. Now, Kathleen Freeman had quite a long, colorful history in Hollywood. Now, Kathleen had sort of a little bit of a goofy charm about her, and she was in a lot of Jerry Lewis movies, by the way. And Joyce Bulifant was also sort of a bubbly blonde, and when the producer, Sherwood Schwartz, looked at that, no, we can't have like a slightly kooky Alice and a slightly kooky Carol. One has to be grounded. So they decided that Carol should be the one grounded. So that's where the part went to Florence Henderson. And thankfully, the part of Alice went to Ann B. Davis, who had been originally on the Bob Cummings show years ago, playing a character named Schultze, which was like his gal Friday. And ironically, in the Brady Bunch movie, Ann B. Davis does a cameo as a truck driver who picks up Jan on the road when she's running away from home, and her CB handle is Schultze. So that's the connection right there. This lovely turquoise pantsuit was worn by Shelley Long, who ended up playing Carol Brady in the Brady Bunch movie, a Very Brady sequel, and Brady Bunch in the White House. How many of you saw that one? Anyway, this is Shelley Long. And of course, you will remember Shelley Long from years ago. She was one of the co-stars of Cheers. But I thought she did a fantastic job as Carol Brady. She got the voice down, the mannerisms down. I think the movies are absolutely hilarious. And also, it's a nice homage to the Brady Bunch. This is Mike Brady as played by Gary Cole. Gary Cole, again, like Shelley Long, was fantastic, becoming the Robert Reed character. And of course, this lovely, polyester ensemble was worn in a Very Brady sequel. Now, here's another little fact about the casting of Mike Brady from the original TV series. Originally, the producers wanted an actor named Gene Hackman. Can you imagine? Now, Paramount turned up their nose and said, well, who knows Gene Hackman? And which is sort of a weird thing because he had quite a career before 1969. And of course, it appeared in Bonnie and Clyde. But the part went to Robert Reed, who was a much more serious actor who also, it turns out, was under contract at Paramount. So they wanted to use one of the Paramount contract players to play Mike Brady. And of course, Robert Reed was fantastic. But I gotta say, Gary Cole did a phenomenal job as Mike Brady in all three of the movies. Okay, here we have Cindy and Bobby from a Very Brady sequel. Cindy was played by Olivia Hack, and little Bobby was played by Jesse Soffer. These costumes were designed, as were all the costumes for the films, designed by Rosanna Norton. And I have to say, Rosanna did a terrific job of not really recreating costumes from the Brady Bunch, but the homage to the look of the late 60s, early 70s. This costume was worn by Olivia as Cindy when they were in Hawaii. And this was costume worn by Bobby, played by Jesse Soffer. He wears this costume in the garage where he makes a very interesting discovery about Carol's deceased husband. Some of the costumes on display in this exhibit I've actually placed in gift boxes to look like the Bradys had been here and opened their presents. Now, this blouse was worn by Christine Taylor, who played Marcia Brady in the Brady Bunch movie and a Very Brady sequel. This is from the Brady Bunch movie, where she decides that she's going to audition to be a top fashion model. But this is a great over-the-top blouse, again, designed by Rosanna Norton. Once again, one of the costumes that is on display here, we put into a gift box as if Marcia had given a gift to her brother, Greg, played by Christopher Barnes. And this is a shirt he wears. This is the shirt he has on in the Brady Bunch movie when he's starting to shave for the first time. And of course, he has toilet paper stuck all over where he nicked himself. But this was worn by Christopher Barnes, who was playing Greg in the Brady Bunch movie. This costume was worn by Jennifer Elise Cox, who does a remarkable job as Jan Brady in both the Brady Bunch movie and a Very Brady sequel. This costume was also worn by Kaylee Kuko when she played Marcia in Growing Up Brady. But this is also, I love the scene in a Very Brady sequel where Jan goes to a coffee house and trying to impress everybody with her boyfriend, George Glass. And George Glass, unfortunately, she's dressed up a mannequin and is carrying a mannequin in to pretend that this is George Glass. It's very crazy. And a couple of the people sitting in the coffee house think it's a performance art piece. So it's a great scene. It's one of my favorite scenes in a Very Brady sequel. Now, this costume was also worn by Jennifer Elise Cox, who plays Jan Brady. And again, one of my favorite scenes in the Brady Bunch movie. Jan does not like to wear her glasses. She thinks they don't make her look pretty enough, okay? Because, she's always in a competition with Marcia, all right? So this vest is original. The green top is not original, but I thought I'd better put something on there to offset this vest. But this vest that she's wearing is a macrame crocheted vest. But the scene is she's getting on her bicycle with her glasses on. Bobby's in the garage, and she discreetly takes her glasses off and sticks them in one of the loops on the vest and drives off. Of course, she runs right into the hedge. She runs into, I think, a garbage can. Then she's out in the street dodging a car. It's very funny because she can't see. Not that that's funny, but she plays it to the hilt. She does a great job. Okay, this bold print blouse and purple skirt were worn by the great Christine Taylor, who really nailed Marcia Brady. She was terrific in that part. This is from a Very Brady sequel. I love this pattern, the print on this dress and that huge collar, but she really knew how to work it because their skirts were so short. And she just with the hair and the skirt, fantastic. Then, of course, we have two costumes from the Brady Bunch movie, and those are from one of the performance outfits, and they're really close replicas of what the real Brady Bunch wore. I think some of in their stage shows and also in the episode where they are performing. But these are, again, awash in polyester and plastic beads. Well, once again, thank you for viewing this Very Brady Holiday. I'd like to give a big shout out to Wendy Winans from BradyWorld.com, who came to one of our talks and added so much information about the history of the Brady Bunch and facts that I didn't even know. So I really appreciated that. So check out BradyWorld.com, Wendy Winans. And thanks again to the Paramount Pictures Archives for letting all of this happen. And thank you very much.